Good evening, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is David Okun. Happy New Year in advance in a few hours from now. I hope you had a beautiful Christmas, a wonderful Christmas, and this is the period of peace and also a period of high expectation. My feeling about 2024 is that things are going to get better. Life is going to be really good, and wishing you all a happy new year, and also life full of health, full of high expectations, and life full of wealth and health and opportunities and happiness, and wishing you all the good things of life, and also that the light shines in every dark places, and so that everybody is to realize their dreams as a humanity, to realize their dreams. I believe in the year to come, 2024, we will be renewed, we will be a new people to realize our value as humanity, that we are special, that we are actually the best of every creature in the world, that every man and woman, child and elderly, sick or healthy, rich or poor, will have a place in the sun, that everybody is unique. The 8 billion people, including children and adults, people of all colors, of all description, we are individuals. We are the best in our own rights, and we are special with unique values. And that is something I am inviting everyone watching this to remember. Never ever to think otherwise, to diminish your value as a human, as a member of a human family. And whether we believe one thing or another, whether we believe in pluralism, whether we believe in individualism, we are both individuals, and we are unique. We are society as well, because we live with one another. We are creatures which build. We are creatures who build relationship with one another. We build relationship with nature. We build relationship with everything else, and we are the best at what we set out to do. We see this evidence in our development, in our progress. We see in the technology, science, and engineering. We see at our politics and government how we have achieved, and we are the best. And we are, as a species, we are actually rewarded with perfect health. We may fall sick, but we don't lie down crying or fighting. We get up and we move on. We use every resources in the world, science, medicine, to solve our human problem. We are problem solvers. We face adversity. We sometimes face calamity, but we are not given to sitting down and walking away from situations. We face every situation squarely. We are humans. We are here to stay, and we are winners. We are not losers. And now, if we work together to be strong, and if we and if we actually understand one another to achieve success together, then we become accessors of our strength. We become accessors of every resources we need to manage and to administer in our society. We are actually builders of peace, and we are achievers of happiness and joy. And this is the essence of my message today. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is David Okun. Once more, if it is the first time for you joining, subscribe to this channel if you are a returning subscriber. Thank you so much. If you are first time, thank you so much for your support, for this opportunity and accessing great resources of the social platform. And let us work together as one family, as one human being, helping one another. I make sacrifices to bring this information because I know in our situation, in our age of today, we have reached the age of perfect knowledge. We are a knowledge age, and therefore what we think matters about our lives and the life of our surroundings, our environments, and our economies, our politics. And this is the kind of thing I've been talking about for now 1 year since last December. And my channel was been existing since 2012, but I've started work last year on I think on the 4th of December last year, and I've been running for 1 year now. So I can congratulate myself. I congratulate all my fans. We are still few, but also we are actually faithful, and we have been very hardworking, very resilient, and we are been very happy. We are optimistic that a few more members of our global family will join this channel, and we will grow. And at the moment, I'm talking about the cost of living crisis. I've been talking about the cost of living crisis because it's a major problem at the moment. And I have said in the past, and I say it again, that if we have a situation, we don't walk away from a situation. We are humans. We solve our problems. And we have a problem of the cost of living crisis. And we will also solve it like we have done in decades past. And also the baton is in our hands at the present. And as we prepare the globe and the earth for the next generation, we play our parts in special ways and aiming to leave the world in a better place. The enemies of humanity have failed. And we will not focus on our enemies, but let us focus going forward in the 2024 on our friends and family, on the people who respect us, on the people who value us. Let us focus on building healthy relationship. And if something is wrong, you know it because you are humanity. You are a member of the human community. You are a human being. You will know it. So that is a sign of hope. We always know instinctively what is right, and so we will always succeed. We are winners. We will win. We are facing a lot of challenges at the moment as humanity. We are actually able, and we will actually begin to change this way we think, focusing on valuing humanity, and also wrapping this around whatever we do developmentally. And in any other way, we are going to revolutionize our progress. And this is exciting opportunities given by social media. And like I said again, support this channel. We are actually on our way. We are so excited and welcome in advance to 2024. And my honest prayer that we reach there safely, that we reach there happy, stronger, and better people, and better equipped to face our common humanity, focusing on our unity and our strength to embrace our challenges and finding solutions to build our worlds, and also coming together and accessing every resources to our advantage to deploy every factors of progress. And as we have done in the past, so we will continue to do, in spite, not because of the adversity we face, including the like of the cost of living crisis. And today I will be talking about the United Kingdom, the help being given by the United Kingdom government to solve the problem, including the problem of the cost of living crisis. If you listen to my previous videos on this series, I have actually proposed and argued, perhaps successfully, that the cost of living as a crisis is produced because of incidences of poverty in the United Kingdom, but also what happens in the United Kingdom is happening across the globe. We are a global community, and it is our duty to produce an awareness of a situation happening in the United Kingdom. And as we actually come together to share ideas, and leave a comment below and let us know your thought. And going forward, we are going to talk about the United Kingdom, but also comparing what happens in the United Kingdom with what happens across the globe, because poverty is a problem for the many, and also faced in by the people who work for living mainly, and also, so to speak, in terms of the crisis of the cost of living, mainly those who are actually working class, and the majority of the world, including the majority of the people in the United Kingdom. This is because of the system of capitalism, which is actually designed either advertently or inadvertently by certain individuals in the past, which is now occurring on also, which is rather unfortunately, it is a violent system of rule which concentrates wealth in the hands of the few, taking this wealth away from the hands of the many. Therefore, a few good men and women in history and in contemporary times have endeavored to mitigate the extremity of capitalism by creating the public sector. This public sector, unfortunately, now is under threat, and in my opinion, it will be closing down entirely. In our time, perhaps also, if not in our time, then in the time to come, in the next decade, you will never, unfortunately, see the public sector. And there is something in the world called privatization, selling of the country of the Great Britain, of the United Kingdom. And this selling of a country to private individuals is happening across the globe. It is a rather unfortunate situation for us as a human family to be facing this type of adversity. But what I have said at the outset of this video, if you watch this video, watch the rest of the video, because the composition are similar. But today, like I said, I will be concentrating on the type of help given by the United Kingdom government to people who need help. If you feel you need help, access help as much as you can, given by the state. And if you cannot, as always, use your own resources to help yourself. And when, like I said, adversity comes, but we will not walk away from adversity, because we are humans and we solve our problems as always, and we will always succeed. Good will always triumph over evil. Whatever evil befalls us, we will triumph, because we have a destiny, and the world is our estate, and we will not walk away. We will go nowhere. People who actually fight humanity have to be warned in advance that we will actually have the last say, and there will ultimately be peace, and we will work together as a family to overcome and then to achieve peace and happiness in our world. So coming back to looking at the help available, we are looking at the public sector, which still remains from what is being destroyed by the state, and what remains is by law and by convention or by contract or by some form of arrangement. It is there. The public sector is still there, but it is weakened, and by design or by mistake, it's almost impossible to access. It's very difficult to access help. This is something people should be aware, and that I say to everybody who needs help of any sort, get help, because you see, and you have to live to fight another day. So giving help is not an option. If you can get help from the state, which help are still there, get help from the state. If you cannot get help from the state, find help from yourself. You are able. When every time one door shuts, another one opens. So we live in hope. We face adversity, but we live in hope every day as individuals, as families, as friends, as members of the community, as actually societies, as people of the world. We are humans. We are determined to unite and be strong, black and white, European, Americans, Asian, Africans. We are all in this together, and we will overcome every adversity. We will see light even in a time when darkness seems to overshadow our peace. We will see the light, and we will achieve success. And coming back to this program, looking at specifics in the United Kingdom policy, and also the product of this policy, the help provided by the government. We are looking at the public sector. We are looking specifically on something called benefit, which is money given to people who need help, people who are poor, people who work for a living, and people on the low scale. And if you are earning in the UK, let's say you're earning about £1,000, and if you're paying rent, you can also get help, and with universal credit, which is actually a form of benefit. Now, when we talk about benefit is part of welfare state. Welfare state includes benefit, which is in terms of universal credit is money, but generally benefit can be money, can be something in kind, help of one form or another. It is now in the UK, you can get it from the Department for Work and Pension. You can get it from the local authorities. You can get it from charities. You can get it from private companies as well, such as you get some grants to help you with the cost of energy and water. If you live in a house, and everybody in the UK live in a house, and everybody have access to energy and water, electricity, gas, for cooking, for warming, for keeping warm, for lighting, and all these facilities are there in homes, and accessing it is becoming harder and harder because the cost of living has made the cost of goods and services to be less affordable. This is a problem in the United Kingdom and also across the globe. If you are where you are, do your best, either through your government or through your own resources. Pay attention to yourself. Look after yourself. You are the primary answer to your question. In the United Kingdom, government are now reminding us, the British people, that they are actually shutting down. They are actually now encouraging the people of the United Kingdom to look after themselves. And like I said, every door closing will open another one, and normally it open better doors. And we face enormous challenges, and in the scheme of things, we are being in a situation of dependency on the government, and the ruling class have been very, very powerful. I mean, the ruling class have really have a lot of power. They have used their power in different ways. But what matters to us, the people of Britain, the people of the United Kingdom, is to access help, which is the objective of this program, how to get help from yourself, but most importantly, to get help from the government. But I am here to say the help from the government is, although it is there, is very little, and it is very challenging to get help. So we are to be reminded that what help the government gives is complementary. The primary help is supposed to come from us as individuals in this country, but also to remind us that the we we need as a community, we need to come together and do something positive. Protect, look after ourselves, look after our money. Whatever money we have, we need to learn how to manage our income. We need to control our debts. If you watch the rest of the video, I'm repeating what I already said in the other video. I will be repeating all the key points throughout. If you watch this video regularly, then you will be lucky to know that I will be repeating this point. And most important thing, probably I have to say before I forget, is the best place to get help now is actually online. And gov.uk is the first website, is a government website. Gov.uk is extremely important. Everything I'm talking about is from there. There is also the public website of an organization known as Citizen Advice, and Citizen Advice are actually independent locally in your area. Find an independent office in your area, and on website, on their public website, and it is, you can access it for free of charge, and you don't need, actually it's actually, you don't need any password or anything to access a public website. Is a Citizen Advice is the leading advice service in the United Kingdom. It's the biggest actually in the United Kingdom, and through that you can be connected to several other small, medium charities which give a lot of information. We live in an age where you cannot have shortage of information. However, if you have a problem to use the internet, then that's a separate problem. Do your best. If you have a family member, get a family member or a friend to help you access the internet, because normally when you try to use something in the process, you learn by doing, and that I think will really be helpful. And even your friends or your family, if you have kids, if you have partners, they can always help. You always ask for help, because will always face challenges of different kind. I mean, money and poverty is not the only problem, but even if you are a multimillionaire, you will have a problem of a multimillionaire. So even if you are a multimillionaire, you have a problem, you solve it with alone, you solve it with other people, you solve it with the help of the government. As long as the government is still there, get help from the government, and that's why I'll talk about help from the United Kingdom government to the British people, rich or poor. And for now, I'm talking about these benefits about poor people who are not multimillionaires, people who are not multi-billionaires, and people who can get universal credit. If you don't have enough saving is actually if you have 16,000 in your savings, 16,000 pounds in your savings, and actually less than 16,000 pounds, then you might be able to get in terms of eligibility. But if you also work, and you work, maybe your earning from your work is less than perhaps less than, maybe, let's say, about 300 pounds. If you earn per month, if you earn about 300 pounds, you will get a standard allowance of universal credit. You might get a little, but if you're living in a property where you pay rent, then you can also get the housing element, which is actually, should be able to cover the full rent if you are low income. So the discussion is that even if you are working, you can still get universal credit, which is actually a form of money given by the government. It's a grant. It's just for one, so wealth of a language to describe this help is a grant. Grant simply means something you are given and you don't pay it back. But also the government also gives some loans. But universal credit, if you get loan, it's because you borrowed some money from the government while waiting for your benefit. There's something called advance payment, which is actually given in lieu of your benefit being processed. You're waiting for it. But it takes 4 weeks to process. Actually, if you're claiming first time, it takes 5 weeks before you get payment. And I have described this in fair detail in the previous videos. So if you look at the other video, it's complemented. Otherwise, you can visit the government website. And I will be repeating some of these points going forward. Today, I'm going to talk about something called a deadline for if you are actually transitioning from the other legacy benefit to universal credit, because universal credit is a new form of benefit. The government during the government in the process of reforming the benefit system created universal credit, and these are replacing something called legacy benefit, like job seekers allowance, employment and support allowance. So things like income related employment employment support allowance, or income based job seekers allowance. They are slightly confusing, but they're just title given to different but similar type of benefit. These benefits are means tested. Means testing means you have the means to look after yourself financially, then you don't get this benefit, or you get less. The more you are able to look after yourself financially, the less benefit you get. And the specifics are contained in the previous videos. If you watch this, then you are opportune to look for the other videos, which is in a series. They are clearly labeled. You will not miss the videos if you go to visit my YouTube channel. You will get this information. The information lining and also the treatment of this material is improving, which is the good news. But going forward next year, I'll continue to invest a bit more, because it's quite expensive to produce a video. We are new, and going forward we'll be investing gradually, and I'll be speaking to family and friends perhaps also to start contributing to what is a family project potentially. We need to bring in this information. This exercise is important because it is knowledge, and it is also because I will be doing other things with the video also, because this is a YouTube channel and we can do pretty much anything. If I come into contact with musicians or with other people who do other things, I can talk to them, I can connect them to this channel, so that we produce videos, even music, even movies, or even whatever we like, cooking, lifestyle, or travel. This channel is to do everything, but for now I'm actually focusing on the cost of living crisis, because this is topical and it's an area I'm interested in, because the cost of living crisis is a symptom of what changes is happening in the government, and it is these changes in the government which I'm more interested in. Even though I talk about specific help, I normally try to introduce a wider background to the situation, because it's more helpful, in my opinion, if people know the wider situation, the wider context of the cost of living crisis. Then they are prepared to solve the problem more. And if you value this material, then it is really important to visit the website or government website and all the other websites, because you can get videos there also produced from different charitable organizations. Do what you can to equip yourself to contribute in your life and to contribute to your family, friends, and the wider community. Be a participant. To be a problem solver is the way to go now, because the government, as I have said, the government is now saying to us they have ruled over us enough, which is a relief. We are now to be free as British people. We are to be free of the grip of the government. So that is good news for us. We are now free of the government, or we are beginning the process of freedom, of the rule of law. We are replacing the law by knowledge, knowledge coming from education, valuing humanity, respecting one another, and learning peace, to live peaceful, because that is what the function of the government is to bring, to maintain law and order, to try and get some modicum of peace. But we are actually making progress as societies. We are advancing, we're improving in our understanding. What we now need to do, in my opinion, is to focus on humanity, to make sure we are aware, we are taking more responsibility, we are acting more responsibly in order to have our rights to exist, because we are here to defend our right. The world is a very violent place, and I don't need to say this. We have seen it on our street. We have seen it with traffic. We have seen it with our homes. We are closing ourselves in because we are work in progress, and we observe security and safety. If we are driving, we are drunk, and we can get an accident. That is a form of insecurity, lack of safety. All these things build up. We have diseases, COVID-19, and all sorts of diseases. We are fighting. We are trying our best as a species to get medication, to get to improve on our health. Our housing, sanitation. If we are in Africa, trying to deal with malaria, trying to deal with all sorts of adversity, and so this program is really trying to encourage us to be human, solving our problem. That is my passion, providing solution to my problem. So instead of talking to myself and keeping these ideas to myself, I am attempting to use this media to share it with my fellow humans. And it is a very human thing of me to do. And leave a comment below if you think I'm very human enough to do what is really right. And then we carry on from there. Every little helps. You see, every mountain to climb, you start climbing from the base to the tip. That's what we are trying to do here. We chip in every single day, each day, every day, one day at a time. When I say we, I'm actually the manager of this project, but you also, because if you don't watch it, I don't know if I'm too, the reason I'm actually recording this so that you can watch it. And you're watching this video is extremely important to me, because there are actually 4 billion people, including children and elderly. So if you work it out a little bit, people who are actually reasonably accessing YouTube channel is maybe potentially you have maybe 3/4 of the global population of 8 billion, but statistically, people, about 100,000 people access they use YouTube every day, which is potentially, I would be attracting 100,000 people around the world every day. About, I think, if my memory is right, about 22 billion people per month is accessing this space. If I am correct, my maths really is not the best, but this is something you can work out. You can go online and get this information. So we are in a good place, and we are actually doing the right thing in this community. We are so privileged. It's an opportunity. So let us go back to this information, to this discussion. So universal credit, as I said, is the kind of help, is money given to people who need help, especially now with the crisis of the cost of living. So we have been talking, coming forward, because you see, the thing is, I'm repeating what I've already said to pick it from here so that I move forward with it. So I will be repeating some of the points from here. And there is something, I was trying to explain something about moving from a legacy benefit of the universal credit. Is moving out, move from the, because you see, if you are actually trying to claim the benefit now, you may not be able to claim certain benefit, because universal credit is the only benefit to claim if it is the mean testing. The reason why I try to really talk about benefit, because there are so many different types of benefits, and it is important for me to talk about benefit in terms of other welfare facilities. Benefit is one of the component of welfare. This called benefit actually generally. Universal credit is one of the benefits, but there are so many different types of benefits which are altogether called welfare benefit. Sometimes if you speak to people about welfare, they think you're talking about benefit. Benefit is money, mostly. Especially universal credit is almost exclusively financial support. But other benefits are there which are mainly also financial support, but it can come in kind also. Like white goods, like what do you call it? White goods like cooker, fridges, and all the washing machine, carpets. You can actually, these are actually help in kind. I don't know what kind of thing you can get. You can get different kind of thing in kind. Food bank. You can go to food bank, get food voucher. You can get food. Food bank is a form of benefit. Fuel voucher is now being given where you use it to get fuel energy, like gas and electricity, to warm your home, to power your home, for lighting and things like that. These are all help, they are all benefit, but they come not in cash but also in kind. I'll be explaining this as much as I can. I cannot explain everything at the same time, so because I have to be systemic. Whatever I give, I try as much as possible to give it as adequately as I can. So you have welfare benefit, you have welfare employment is also a form of welfare, because you see, when you talk of income, which is money you get either from the government to help, like universal credit, like benefit, but also income from employers if you work as an employee, or there are, if I say, I'm just, because employees are actually, there are some types of workers, employees called workers. These are actually legal technicality to do with employment law. But if I say employee, it means you are employed. Instead of using employee, because employee means something different in terms of employment law. So if you are employed by someone, or you are self-employed, and even self-employed actually should be, if you're a business person, that they are also investors and entrepreneurs. These are actually different categories of what I can only say that they're supposed to be, their business, they own their own businesses, but because of one reason or another, because of the size of their operations, and also their rights within employment or self-employment. So all these things are there. They are part of welfare, because the government has to manage the economy. Sometimes, if big corporations fail, the government gives them bailouts, such as happened in 2007 and 2008, the global crisis. The government intervened to help farmers or other operators who provide basic essential, sometimes intervene to support energy companies, even if controversially, even if they are very rich. Sometimes for political reasons, government actually does, certain things which are not really acceptable. And but that is part of the problem, which we are here to understand, because if you understand something, we can start working as British people to try and solve even problems being created by the government, problem being created by nature, environment, or diseases, or some other some other crisis, say maybe tsunamis or whatever, or foreign invasion. This is the responsibility of the British people to understand the situation, to take responsibility and solve this problem. So you have employment, which is a part of form of welfare. You have healthcare, which is part of welfare. You have education, which is a form of welfare. It's a form of social services. And the list is actually fairly long. Some of them are obvious, others are not obvious. Even issues of the family, because the family always constantly need government support. The legal system need government support for people to access the law and the court system. Immigration is an issue which actually the government controls. It's form of welfare in it, because if immigrants come, the government has to make sure they are alive, they access medicine, they access food, they access housing, they access transportation. So immigration is also features every element of society. There is an every section of society there is an element of welfare. So we need to increase our understanding about how the government operates, and our understanding will begin to open doors where our doors are being shut. Doors begin to open so that we begin to ease our way away from the government, to be more independent of the government, to run our own lives, which is what the government has told us to do repeatedly. The government have said, especially the Conservative Party, have said they want smaller government. That means they are shutting down the public sector. Actually, they have shut down the public sector in terms of policy event. It is really now shut. What is now remaining is now process of actually, completing the process of shutdown. And this is because the government is now concentrating on doing other things, concentrating on the economy, and also creating the governor concentrating on supporting wealth creation in the country, because we are in a society where wealth is the driver of everything. And but I've also said, apart from wealth, humanity should be developed more into the picture of progress. We do development, we build wealth, which is fine, but we need to know why we are actually building wealth. We need to understand we are building wealth for humanity. And we may talk about the environment, which is fine. The environment is for people, which is human beings is part of the environment. This is something I've been talking about. Sometimes we lose sight of our priority. Our priority is humanity. And that is the best way for us to be responsible, to value our lives, and then move forward. I've explained the idea of benefit, the idea of welfare. So I'm using universal credit as an illustration, but I'm looking at it specifically in terms of available help, which is the main thrust, the main body of benefit given by the government, the money given by the government. And then the government is now moving everyone from other benefit to universal credit. There is going to be one benefit known as the universal credit, according to the government. Now, there are different elements. The standard allowance is also sickness if you're sick, also housing, to cover housing if you live in a house, if you pay rent. Then there is the housing element, there's child elements, replacing something called a child tax credit. There's also the working element, replacing something called working tax credit. And if you are caring for somebody else, you will get paid some more money. There is something called limited capability for work. If you're sick, you get the sickness element, like I said. And it sounds very good in terms of arrangements. The reality, like I said in the other videos, I repeat it here, that you have to put in the effort to access this help, because the government attitude is now not to give help to the British people, because the government now want the British people to stand on their 2 feet, and the British people, whether they like benefit or whether they didn't, most people don't really like benefit, because it is people prefer to work for a living, or actually run their own businesses, access wealth, which I believe we can all access wealth. And there is nothing impossible in life. We can get out of poverty, and then we can access wealth. We can bring changes where we, because the way I see the government is saying they want to give our country back to us. David Cameron, when he was campaigning to become the British Prime Minister, I think in 2016, he said, we are giving your country back, which is a good thing, which means they are shutting down the government to allow us now to run our own schools, to run our own hospitals, to run our own families, to run our own life. Which means, the way I interpret it, it means we are no longer going to pay taxes. We are no longer going to, depend on the government, because the government will not be there. It will be shut down. The government is shutting down. And it is up to the British people now to look after themselves. They have to organize their own security, to food security, energy security, all sorts of security. It is now up to us going forward, maybe in the decades, in the decades to come. The process is beginning now, where the government is now shutting down and allowing us to find our ways in life. That is why the benefit system, although it is there, it is now being made deliberately by the government. It's being made to be difficult, to encourage the British people to grow up, because the British people, because of the state introducing the system of welfare, the British people they got addicted to the welfare state, the hospital service. The food is affordable because the government is subsidizing food. All that is going to stop. So the food prices are going to go up. So we need now to prepare for all this. That's why I'm talking about universal credit. Universal credit represents income and employment, self-employment, investment, entrepreneurship, all represent income at different levels. At a lower, at a medium, at the higher level. Some people in this country are multimillionaires, others are multi-billionaires. And my hope is that the rich and the poor will reunite and work together as one people, as family and friends. And so the people who are now multi-billionaires can now, because the government is shutting down eventually, so people who are rich will now look around and see, because about 90% of the population will be excluded, so the government will not be there, and the money will be, because of capitalism, all the money will be concentrated in the hands of about 5 or 10% of the population. And my belief is that we can now, we the majority, can now talk to the super rich to try and give us some of the money. So the giving and receiving will still be there. In a nice way, it's going to be peaceful. And we'll try our best to be peaceful, because our aim is not really to do anything other than be peace, because our aim is to actually achieve peace. And we can achieve peace if we live together as a family, rich and poor, coming together in one, because the rule will shut down. The government is going to shut down. If the government shut down, the rule shuts down with it. And it may not be tomorrow, it may not be in 5 or 10 years' time, it may be, but the process is beginning now. That's why there are a lot of changes, there are a lot of crises. The cost of living is an example. That's why I'm talking about the cost of living. To prepare us so that we can prepare the next generation. Because if we are aware, if we have knowledge of what is now happening, it is an opportunity for us to actually share what we know with the next generation. And if you know how to write, you can write. If you know how to do video, you can video. You can open your own YouTube channel if you don't have one. If you have YouTube channel, it's already easy, because we share this information. If it is valuable, leave a comment below and let me know. A lot of feedback now coming positively that there, in the early stages, there was some, you know, even now there are actually feedback, you know, to, for me, things the people feel I should improve, but the you know, the core of the feedback is positive, which is the best thing if you are actually a YouTuber, or because, you know, people are actually watching me all over the world. And for somebody to leave a comment and approve of what you're saying is really, I mean, sometimes I speak to people on the phone and they're happy with what they see. A lot of people actually are so happy with the level of education this channel is providing. And I am so happy with, because this is so challenging to do what I'm doing. And I'm so happy about that, because, you know, every time I face challenges, I improve as a person. I learn every day. Every day, I get up to come to face this screen, to the camera. My number one priority is to learn. To learn, to, you know, explain things more accurately, to be more alert, you know, I have to adjust, especially if people give feedback. And but people even don't give feedback, that's fine. As long as I see 1 or 2 people are watching this material, and we are not a viral channel, but everything has its time. But what we are focusing is to improve the quality of the material. But also, it comes with participation. I mean, if you're a YouTuber watching this, the best thing for you to do is actually post the video, because that is how you learn. I have seen myself, I've seen other people improving. In life, if you want to achieve something, be involved, engage with a situation, to learn as much as you can, because you learn by practice, practical learning, and what you learn by practical participation is probably the best, because you control your pace of learning, and you put yourself forward. You know, you learn the discipline, you put pressure on yourself, and to get into doing things. So people now, going back to universal credit, the government is now moving people from legacy benefit. Legacy benefit, I explained in the other video. These are old benefit, but now universal credit is new. Legacy is the opposite of something new. So we'll get coming from legacy. But normally, when you are claiming benefit, if you are already claiming benefit, or if you are going to claim it, and be aware of this information. That's why I'm going through the material so that people are aware, because they operate within their own rules, legal rules, policy, consideration. So the government is going to write a letter to claimants. You know, if you're already claiming universal credit, you will get you're going to be written to, you're going to be given a notice that to move to universal credit from other benefit, from the old type of benefit, and you have 3 months to do that. But if you are late, you have the government can extend by 1 month. So I've already spoken about extension in the other video. So if you are actually if you are backdating, I mean, if you're actually moving from the legacy benefit to the new universal credit, you can ask the DWP to backdate to give you a back payment of benefit, because in the process of moving, you lose out. In a sense, you move out. If it is maybe the deadline, maybe if it is extended, then you probably will lose out on benefit. Then you can explain to the DWP why you're late and all this, so you can remember if you are actually claiming now, or you are actually trying to claim benefit of any sort. But you can only claim universal credit now. If you're already on the legacy benefit, then there will come a time the DWP will write to you to move from the legacy benefit to universal credit. And if you ask for an extension of the deadline of 3 months, and then you given 1 month extension, and under these circumstances, you ask the DWP to backdate your benefit, to pay 1 month in arrears, because you will not be getting probably benefit for a month. Then you ask them to backdate it so that you don't lose out on benefit after 1 month. The backdating can be up to it will actually be for 1 month. So if you are actually dealing with the backdating, if you ask for a backdate for 1 month, there will be an overlap of benefit. There will be an overlap of benefit from the legacy benefit, because you will still be paid a legacy benefit for 1 month, but you are also asking for backdate of universal credit for one month. So there will be an overlap. There's something called overpayment of benefits. So you will be facing that situation. Now, if you apply for universal credit, if you move to universal credit, you might be better off under the universal credit than if you are under legacy benefit. But yeah, there's no option actually if you are required to move from legacy benefit. Normally, people are either better off under the new benefit, or they're worse off if you're better off under universal credit. Even if you risk overpayment of benefit, which you have to pay back, you can still ask for backdating. But if you're better off, then overall you will still be better off if you ask for backdating. So an example of this situation, if you are actually in this situation of backdating, if your legacy benefit is £500 and your universal credit is actually £600, which means you're better off under universal credit by £100. And if you are overpaid by 500 under legacy benefit, if you ask for back payment, you're going to gain £100 under universal credit. That is how you will be better off under universal credit by £100 compared to legacy benefit. And so backdating universal credit will mean if you paid, you actually, even if you pay back the overpayment of legacy benefit of 500, you are left with 100. So you're better off by 100. But also you can have an option if you are overpayment, if you are overpaid, which you will be overpaid, you can negotiate with the DWP to allow you to pay bit by bit by deduction through your universal credit, which is actually fair because you are on benefit because you are low pay. And in the past, such thing would be ignored by the DWP, but the government is trying to save taxpayers' money. But also because the government is now trying to restrict access to benefit, it is having the government has less and less money because the best way to close down public sector is to stop funding it. So there is no point continuing to fund public sector if you're trying to close it down. That's why, yeah, public transport now there are staff shortages because the public transport has been privatized, and the private companies are trying to save money by making cuts. That's how they make profit. Otherwise, they will go out of business. The government has given them the responsibility to run public services, and if the incur costs like running trains the way they should run, if they run it adequately, the way they should run, it is going to cost them money. Private companies are there to make profit, and they are not designed to provide public sector. But the government has very limited choice because it cannot shut down the public sector immediately. It has to use charities, it has to use private companies to shut public sector down gradually. Because if we shut the public sector immediately, it's going to create a lot of shock and a lot of chaos in the country. So the government is nicely trying to use the private companies to help the process of shutting down the public sector so that people don't feel the impact of loss. The people will be losing out gradually, but eventually things will be. So what the government is now doing is trying to manage the shutdown. The focus of public policy is now managing the shutdown of the public sector so that people don't feel the adverse effect immediately, but long term, people will actually are prepared to face the world without the public sector, without public service. So public service is going to shut down, which is actually the support given to by the government to people who are actually poor, people who work for living, the middle and the working classes of the United Kingdom. I've been talking about this in different ways for 1 year now. So if you watch some of the videos, but now because I'm now focusing more on the finer details happening in the United Kingdom. So even if you are not in the United Kingdom, just try to pay attention to what the United Kingdom is doing, because what Uganda, United Kingdom is doing will be quite similar to what is happening in your country because of globalization. You know, globalization is trying to harmonize the global economy and the global society. What happens in one country is going to be harmonized throughout the globe. So in terms of understanding systems is it's a case of really, you know, concentrating on what's happening in your country. Then generally it is quite similar to what's happening in another country, especially the developed worlds of Europe, the developed worlds of America, the developed world of Asia, but also Africa is developing very fast. If you live in Africa, you will bear testimony. Africa is becoming really a very rich continent very quickly because it has a lot of natural resources, and wars are now becoming less and less in Africa. So Africa is now having a breathing space to begin creating wealth, and but also what effect befalls the developed world, including the United Kingdom, like shutting down the public sector, will be happening. It's now happening in Africa. In Africa, it may happen in a more crude way because the way Africa operates is a bit different. There are the level of dictatorship by military dictatorship is more abrupt. Africa generally, in terms of rule, Africa lacks a civil infrastructure, and that makes Africa they can be very chaotic when there is crisis. So Africa should be more resilient to face what calamity befalls them under the auspices of capitalism and also the shutting down of the public sector. Because in Africa, if you are poor, you are actually going to be in a lot of problem. But if Africans can unite, especially poor people, because poor people are more vulnerable in any society than rich people. Rich people are also vulnerable because of insecurity. If you are rich people, you are focusing on your personal safety and also on your security to protect your wealth, to protect yourself, and also your wealth and your family, which is a challenge rich people will be facing because society is divided at the moment. My hope is that the rich people and poor will start working together, negotiating and trying to re-educate themselves, to ease themselves away from violence and become more peaceful. So because peace actually produces security and happiness, obviously. You are happy if you are peaceful. You are actually safe if you are secure. So that kind of thing. So that's my hope. I believe humanity will settle this dispute once and for all. And if you look at the history of humanity, yes, the survey is really scary because we as a species have been fighting. In Africa, we have been fighting across the globe. But if you look at us, we have our work cut out. But I believe I'm optimistic. I believe we will succeed. I believe we will succeed in the hand. But to do that, we need to really be informed. We need to know our priorities. Our priorities are actually humanity. As simple as that. And I believe we will come to our senses at some point, because now we think of money. Sometimes we think of money, we think of wealth, we think of power, we think of rule more than humans. Sometimes people think of trees, fruits, vegetables, water, butterflies, dogs, cats, crocodiles, snakes, monkeys, chimpanzee, reindeer, antelope, wolf, foxes, bears, elephants. We think of things sometimes more than people. But we are at this stage, and in a lot of ways we are so confused. But I believe there is going to come a time when humanity will come to its senses to know their priority. Because see, the earth belongs to humans because we are at the top of the food chain. We make or break the world. And that is why I'm so proud of myself to be human. And I'm so proud of the people who are engaging with me to talk about serious topic about humanity. We should be very, very proud. In a world which is so desperate today, the world is so desperate. We are so desperate that we now look for leadership, and we have the capacity to lead. And we may be experiencing a lot of chaos at the moment, but the time has now come for us to take up leadership. And I can see the light. I can see things happening on the humanitarian front, and there is the beginning of a process of emancipation to take back our worlds, to take back our countries, to take back our freedom, and really, re-access our estates. And I see it happening. The process beginning sooner rather than later. It will take long. It will require challenges. We are to persevere to the end. We will not give up, because giving up is not an option. we are to show leadership, we are to be strong, we are to endure a lot of suffering, and that is okay. Because you see, that is the best way to become better people, and better people actually bring peace. They bring peace and security. So the future of humanity is secure in that sense, because the good people of the world will instinctively come together to start doing what is right, to get their priority right. And in the end, we are the ones who will be left standing. And this is my hope going into 2024. We are increasingly deep into this process. Let us carry on looking little more about this segment of the information. Now, if you are given an extension of the deadline to move from the legacy benefit to the universal credit, now if you claim before the final deadline, if you claim before this final deadline, then you don't have to apply for backdating of benefits. The DWP will backdate your benefit automatically. So also, if you get an extension of the deadline by 1 month, then your claim of benefit will start from the first day of the deadline. When the deadline ends, and the first day of deadline, and so your word is the deadline day. So if you reach the deadline of the second extension, then your word will be given at that time. So I'm going to stop here, and I will continue from here the next time we meet. And thank you for watching this far, and continue to actually participate, to watch the videos, and also to consider subscribing if you haven't subscribed, and also leave a comment. You can look at a notification bell and let the conversation continue. So we'll be continuing on this topic, and also stop now and again to give a broader view, because this information are very specific. It will be very helpful for people who need help, and also for people who don't need help, because you need to be equipped as a member of the family, human family. And thank you. We'll see you in the next video. Now, when the time comes, once again, enter safely into the new year in a few hours time, depending which country you are in. And here in the UK, we are a few hours away. And Happy New Year in advance. And I'm praying for your prosperity, for your health, and for peace in the world, and for happiness. Thank you. Bye-bye. See you in the next one. Bye.